Aye.
Any opposed? Great, the minutes are approved. Now, item number 4, we have Mr. Workentine who's going to be talking to us about an event for the trails. Just an FYI, we have that marked as an action item, and it is not. It's an informational only item. Just for you guys' information. So, Mr. Workentine.
My name's Dan Workentine. I'm president of the Friends of Boone County Trails, and we're planning on holding an event on April 30th, which is a Saturday of this year. It's not quite a grand opening, but it's a use of the trail, and we're working with other health agencies, with them, the Y, Boone County Senior Services, and so forth. And the trail, the idea is to get people out on the trail, everything from bird watching to kids on tricycles. I'm not sure if you knew this or not. I mean, I've been on the trail quite a bit myself, and with it being paved now, trying to get people to realize that it's open and they can get out there and use it. This event will go everywhere from there at Menards to as far as people want to ride their bicycles up to Sugar Creek on the other side of Thorntown. We have a lot of different things that we're going to be doing. An example is, I'm not sure if you realize it or not, but there's a thing called geocaching, and that's where people go out and hide little items in Tupperware boxes, and then when you find them, you put your name or initials on it and the date and so forth, and you find them by GPS coordinates and so forth. And I was out there about a year or so ago, and some guy from Indianapolis was on a little bicycle riding along, and then I ran into, what are you looking for? And he told me about it, and then I ran into somebody else who's here in Lebanon, and they said that trail is actually the hot spot of geocaching in Indiana, because people have gone out there and hidden things along the trail, like under where the railroad ties and things are piled over to the side, you know, all the way, you know, down to Thorntown. And about every 500 feet or so, there's something hidden. And I probably found 5 or 6 myself, just going out and looking for them without the GPS, because it's kind of fun to, okay, it looks like somebody's been going off the trail here, you know, and you kind of go over and sure enough, there'd be something, you know, behind a tree or something like that. We're tying this in with kind of a healthy coalition sort of thing. So there'll be people learning about healthy living, getting out and using the trail. We're having a 5K run, and then we'll have some things for the kids, maybe everything from face painting to cleaning up their tricycles and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm here. I was asking permission. I think I got the permission from the city council for that. So that's what I wanted to explain to you, that what we're doing. And if you have any questions, this would be a good time for that.
Kind of an off-the-wall question, that geocaching you're talking about, what kind of things are they hiding? Bars or what?
Lots of times they're in just little Tupperware things to kind of keep them out of the weather. And there'll be lots of times like a little notebook in there so that you can write down your name and the date that you found it. And then there'll be like little trinkets, all the little knickknack stuff you put like on a keychain. So part of it is sometimes you put that in there and then you maybe take one out and put one of yours in. Sometimes little dolls and just probably the stuff you have laying around at home in a drawer that you want to get rid of. So this is a good spot to put them out there. So it's just kind of a fun thing to get people out and get them doing things.
Dan, there's actually a geocaching app, right, that
Yep.
kind of leads you to different locations.
Mm-hmm. And they're kind of hidden all over the place on kind of like public access places. And I know I was talking to my son Bryce, and he said at the Y, there was somebody out there looking around at one of the light posts. And what's going on? They looked out there, and down at the bottom of the light post, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but there's like a little cover, and underneath that cover was one of these, Tupperware things. And so I guess they hide them all over the place and so forth. I'm not into it that much. I just seen people, doing those things. But the whole idea is to kind of get people out in nature, get them involved, community, fun activity. It's not really a fundraiser. We might be trying to get a little money just to help us get the trail going farther towards the county line up there north of Thorntown.
So did you say that the trail is paved all the way to Thorntown now?
No, it's only for about 2 miles.
Okay,
And then, in Thorntown, it is paved.
yes.
Yeah, and we're working on some money to get some more areas of it paved with some other grants. And so it'd be really nice if we could get it paved from, here in Lebanon all the way there. The materials that we put down first, because we were limited on funds, we wanted to get the trail open, and we didn't have enough money to pave the whole thing, but we put down the crushed material that was there. And I don't know if you've been on the trail or not, but some places it's as good as asphalt. And in other places, it's almost like beach sand. So it just kind of depended on how it was put down and how wet it was at the time and so forth. We're working on a grant right now to get part of it paved up by Hazel Rig, which is one of the worst sections. That's one of the first parts we did as a kind of a test area. And so we're trying to get a grant to get part of that paved.
Okay.
Great. Somebody have any questions or anything for Mr. Workentine? Well, please let us know how it goes. I hope you have a great turnout.
Okay, and you're all invited. Come out, and it's pretty much going to be a free event. If you want to give us a donation, fine, but you can come out with your family, grandkids, kids, whatever, and bring your bikes out and have fun. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Item number 5, an increase to the Spectrum Engineering General Services Agreement. General Manager Whitman. Thank you.
We are getting close to Spectrum Engineering's not-to-exceed limit of $50,000 on their general services agreement. We need Spectrum Engineering to continue to provide engineering services to us in order to complete several important electrical projects as outlined in the document previously provided to the board. These projects include the Enterprise Substation circuit backups, line specification requests that we make of Spectrum, relay settings as part of their system model study. Additionally, we're looking to reconductor 2 of our circuits, the 1251 and 1254, and some other various projects to continue to upgrade our electric system. I therefore request that the board approve an additional not-to-exceed amount of $125,000, which allows Lebanon Utilities to continue these electric projects that will improve our electric reliability on both our 12 kV and our 69 kV systems. This dollar amount was included in the 2016 electric utilities budget. Are there questions?
Yeah, the $50,000 that we've already spent with them was, for what period of time was that, Mike? Was that a physical year? Was it project-driven?
It was projects, various
Okay.
projects, as well as some study requests. We have some circuits in the summer where we have some voltage issues, so we asked them to take a look at the system model, use the system model. You can, on the computer, put in different types of equipment and see how the circuit responds before you actually go out and buy the equipment. And that way you can locate it properly, you can size it properly, and that's part of the nice thing that you can do with the system model. You can do all kinds of scenario studies. And so it's these kinds of requests that we've asked them to help us out with either projects or with just some studies on our system.
And the additional request of $125,000, is that just for the physical year of 2016?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And all those are budgeted items.
They are.
That's all in the budget we approved earlier.
That is correct.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Whitman?
I'd make a motion to approve an additional not to exceed amount of $125,000 for Spectrum Engineering's task order and to allow the general manager to sign this agreement.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve an additional amount not to exceed $125,000 for Spectrum Engineering's task order and to allow General Manager Mr. Whitman to sign this agreement. We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or discussions? All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, that motion passes. Moving on to item number 6, the electric operations building fiber build-out. So I believe that's Seth. You got some information for us?
Okay, to hook up the new electric operations building at 1300 West Main Street to the overall IT infrastructure to make it part of the utilities IT network, it's necessary to run fiber optic cables out to that building from a contact point outside the municipal building. We received 2 proposals to run about approximately 6,700 feet of 144 count fiber optic cable across a predefined path from here to 1300 West Main Street. Received a quote from CSU Incorporated and one from JDH Contracting. I'm recommending that we go with the CSU Incorporated proposal of $24,379. We have used them in the past for other projects. We're comfortable with their services. They're also the lowest of the two bids. Any questions?
This was all planned, I mean, this is all part of the new building, anticipated expenses.
Yes, I don't believe it was probably brought up originally when the building was thought of. IT sometimes is one of the last things that kind of gets thought of in building construction. But there should be a budget item for about $35,000 that was in the 2016 budget for just general fiber optic build-outs. And that was, dollar value was put in there in anticipation of this project.
Okay. Thanks.
Hey Seth, on the JDH,
Yes, sir.
I don't see anything in there where it excludes things like private utility locates and stuff. Is that
I believe it was.
fiber termination panel?
Let me pull their quote up here.
I'm just wondering if one excludes.
Well, it does say it doesn't include the make-ready work, and it's not based on prevailing wage rates on there. The private utility locates, I guess were not written on there, they were verbally described. It's just something that generally fiber optic, they don't do or pay for the locates or anything like that. It's kind of always an assumed thing on there.
Okay, what is a fiber termination panel?
So what was that again?
Fiber termination panel that's on the,
Oh, fiber termination panel. Basically, you run the fiber optic cable aerially. At each end, you have to splice the fiber onto something. One end, we're going to be putting it in an existing aerial enclosure, upgrading the size of the enclosure from a B size to a D size to accommodate the larger fiber. The other end, you have to put in a rack-mountable box where you then splice the fiber so you can then attach your cables to it. So that would be a termination panel, and we're going to provide the termination panel. The quotes I received for the types that they offered, I was not comfortable with that. It was not the type that I liked based off what our existing fiber term panels are in the other buildings.
so neither one of the quotes include that termination panel?
None of the quotes include the termination panel. That's something we would purchase on our own from a regular vendor.
Seth, this may be obvious, but the reason we're bidding this out is because this project is larger than something we want to take on in-house, or we don't have the equipment or the power or the...
Since we lost our in-house fiber engineer over a year or so ago, He was the one who did the fiber build-outs in conjunction with the electrical department. After he left, it was kind of determined that to hire a new person in-house to just do fiber, along with tying up the time of the electric utility to run, hang fiber, which is not their expertise in the first place, that it was best just to bid out these projects as needed instead of having electric guys do it when that's not really their skill set and hiring and paying somebody full-time to do the few amount of fiber projects that we do annually.
Sure. Thanks.
Seth, I did have one comment contractually. The only question or thought I might have is on the CSU, or I guess either proposal. I wouldn't mind to see a start date or a to be completed by date. I know that they've got as expeditiously as they can, but I wouldn't mind, given that, I wouldn't mind see whatever commercially reasonable date, say that they'll start and complete this within 30 to 60 days or something like that.
Okay.
Do you think they'd be amenable to that, or they?
Oh, I definitely would be. We've already been in contact with both of them, been more in contact with CSU. We brought them up first just because we've dealt with them in the past to look at the site. The thing with the fiber is you have to buy that much fiber. People usually just have a bunch of fiber lying around, so they would be purchasing the fiber for the project. And so they don't have a firm timetable on when they would get the fiber in. The company has a hold on fiber, assuming we pull the trigger, they would then execute that hold and have it be purchased and in their possession. However, if the fiber that they get there from was sold off beforehand, that could change the scope of time. So since we didn't have anything agreed upon, didn't tell them, yeah, go ahead and purchase the fiber for a project they might not get. But when we talked to them, we told them our start date, we wanted to have something by the building live date of around April 1st, early April. And they both seemed to think that was feasible. However, due to the fact that we kind of had to delay this a little bit and couldn't make it into the last board meeting, there might be some updates on how long. But once we've done this, we can get definitely a timetable on when they will put it in.
So I guess that second sentence or third on CSU and somewhere on JDH, I'd like to see, to be completed on or before
Okay.
whatever that date is, weather permitting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So are you needing that before we make a decision, or, okay, just after, make sure we have
Whatever the board
that?
decides, I'd like to see that language inserted.
Okay, I can get that language in there, that's no problem.
So we can, in effect, approve this subject to you approving the contract?
Yeah.
With that language in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? You have further questions or comments? Anything?
No, I make a motion to accept the proposal from CSU to build out and install fiber optics from the municipal building to the electric operations building for an amount of not to exceed of $24,379, subject to council's approval for the amendment of the contract with date specification.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the proposal from CSU, subject to Mr. Jacob approving the language.
I have one question.
Yes.
Does that really actually start from the substation to the municipal building? And then,
Where it's going to start from a aerial enclosure that is right by the central substation, and it will go directly into the IT room of the new operations building. And this, as far as I understand,
so it
is
really doesn't really start from the municipal building. It starts from the substation and goes directly.
yeah, it's going to splice into existing fiber that goes from the substation into the municipal building. So we'll be just basically tapping into the network there as the closest enclosure. Now we'll mention, I'm not sure, this is not like a contract or anything like that. This is just a regular proposal for doing a project. So I don't have any contract terms or anything like that. It's just a standard proposal.
Okay.
Any other points, questions? Great, so we have a motion and a second to approve the proposal from CSU, subject to Jeff's approval. All those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that carries. Thank you, Seth. Item number 7, hydrostop equipment purchase. Bob, are you going to handle that? Okay.
We've had some communication with Hydrostop, who has provided us some equipment. We bought some equipment clear back in the 1980s, I believe, is when that was. Mr. Nelson was still here when we started buying this equipment. This equipment is to isolate piping. Mostly we use it for old bourbon hydrants that never had valves or anything to that nature on them when they were installed. This is way back stuff. And it allows us to then isolate that with a cut-in, which is using this Hydrostop equipment. They've made changes to that Hydrostop equipment, and we need to either renovate ours, which would mean that it would not be guaranteed, or we purchase the new, which is what we're suggesting here, because then it is guaranteed. It has built-in lock systems to be able to help us cut this in and put to isolate the change out of these areas. So if we have like an old bourbon hydrant that gets hit or something, again, they have no way of isolating to get that without maybe going back 2 or 3 blocks and shutting and isolating people off from the water. So
You're saying something is updated on the, like, you're talking about fire hydrants, something is updated on there?
the Hydrostop equipment itself is being updated that we use.
Okay, what we have now, is it still functional? Does it still?
It won't be functional, no.
Okay, that was my question.
Right, it's not gonna be functional after this update, which
Okay.
they have just done, so.
Okay.
Because of that, we're asking that to do it. And this is the reason why it wasn't budgeted, because it wasn't known before. So we're gonna pull this from equipment, which is an operational cost for now, because we need to have it. Something that we don't use a lot of, but it is something that we need to be able to safely work on pieces out in the system.
Is there any value to the old equipment? Is there,
We still have a lot of the old equipment, like the hydraulic portion of the equipment and such is still good.
okay.
And the cost of that, I wouldn't even be able to guess at what the value of that is. This is still very proprietary, and that's why the cost of it is kind of the way it is. There's nobody else that does it that we know of and that we've been able to find. So what we're asking is to approve us to be able to purchase this 480AK-HS Hydrostop. The amount is $21,304.08 plus the freight.
I guess I'm missing something here. What we have now is obsolete at this point and will not work, or it will continue to work until a point in time when it will go?
It's obsolete. We can't get parts. We cannot get parts anymore to be able to utilize for what we have in equipment.
And then, like Dan was asking, the stuff that you have in inventory right now has some value that we
It
could
does have
potentially?
value. Like the Hydrostop, or the hydraulic portion of this, it still has a lot of value to it, which generates the pressure to be able to do the cuts and to do this cut-in. All this is for some sleeves, basically, and the kits to be able to plug or put in a valve. I don't know how to basically explain all this stuff because I can give you a picture. This is a piece that we're needing to get, which is allows us to put put a valve in and shut it down. This is another section of it that we got to replace, which allows us to then go back and cap it once we pull it out. Once we've got cut out and redone the line structure, so that, let's say we replace a hydrant and it has a new valve placed in it, which will be a permanent, then we'll put this back in place and seal it off. So these are the things that need to be redone. Far as cutters, things like this, we already have. This is equipment we have to have, or already have in place, that we're not letting go. Same thing with this up here, which puts the plug down in it.
Okay.
So I just have a quick question and a comment. So as I'm understanding, there's just one producer of this equipment, which is why we only have one, board only has one quote, because it's so unique.
It is
and-
very unique to the industry.
And then when the surplus, when you determine what's either old, surplus, or not usable, that'll come back to the board for approval as surplus, so it can be sold. Or if you're gonna hold on to it, that's it, I guess the other
Yeah,
option.
I don't think we're gonna have any surplus.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
there should not be any surplus. All this is doing is making it adaptable to what they have changed in their design for this equipment that allows us to be able to use it with the equipment.
So the
Tools.
21,000 doesn't replace the complete unit?
Oh, no.
It just makes it adaptable so that we're able to take what we have and continue to make it functional?
Yes, that's all it is, just making an adaptable change to what they've done. It's just like taking a device and then making certain improvements on it, like for diameters, and they can make those cuts. We could get and do those kind of cuts within, but again, when you do that, I wouldn't feel safe with the guys who are doing that. I honestly think the honest way to do this is to replace the equipment and do it properly, so.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Any other
Again,
questions?
this is old, I mean, back in the 80s when we bought this, so this is the first update to this equipment since that time. So-
Great. So maybe you have further questions for Bob? Any comments or anything? Mike?
No, I'm set.
Set?
I'm fine with this.
Okay.
I'll make this motion that we approve purchase of Model 480 AK HS Hydrostop in the amount of $21,304.08 plus freight from Hydrostop.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to purchase from Hydrostop in the amount of $21,304.08 plus freight. Any further comments or discussions? All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Rick, you want to talk to us about office furniture at the new electric ops building, please? And before we go, thank you to Rick, Dan, I think it was Neil, the committee we put together last 2 weeks ago to go research this a little bit further for us. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, after the last meeting, when you gentlemen tabled the discussion about purchasing the furniture for the electric operations building, you sent me out to find a little more information about warranty quality on the furniture that was the lowest bid on that furniture, which was fine line furniture. To recap what we had 3 quotes on it. Starting from the most expensive, commercial office environments came in at the amount of $45,296.87. We had Patrick's Office Supply quote us for the furniture $32,499.68. Then the low bid came in through Fine Line Furniture in the amount of $29,136.60. After doing a little more investigation, I actually called the sales person back from Fine Line and got some more information about her warranty. There was an issue about whether it was a true lifetime warranty on it, because they did have a lifetime, but it was a limited lifetime warranty on a lot of the parts on it. There were 1-year warranties on some of them, up to 5-year on some of the laminate. We did find out also, or I found out, that this particular furniture is called Trendway furniture. It's a modular furniture, and the best way I can describe it is it's basically put together on site. On the same sense, it's something you might buy at Costco. You know, I know my wife has brought some furniture home like that. In my mind, is not very durable, very lasting. But this furniture is modular furniture. It's put together on site. So, as opposed to the Han furniture, which is delivered, unboxed, and set in place. So, to me, that tells me that it's quite a more durable furniture. But she, to explain when we got the quote, I told her we needed good quality furniture, and I said comparable to Han furniture to that. So she said that they do sell Han, and that it is a great furniture also, but the Trendway in her mind is as good as a grade A furniture too. I said, well then, if it's such a good furniture, why don't they have a lifetime warranty on it, as Han does? And she really didn't give me an answer, to be quite honest with you about it. But she, you know, we had a discussion about parts going bad, breaking, and well, this should happen in the first year, so you should get it replaced within that first year. I said, if it doesn't, then we don't get a replacement. And well, if it's out of warranty, it's out of warranty. So in my mind, that tells me it's not as good as quality furniture by no means, or they would place a lifetime warranty on it if they were that proud of it and thought that it was that good. So again, I spoke with Pat up at Patrick's about the Han, and it most certainly is a full lifetime warranty. When a part breaks, we order a new part at no cost to us, and we replace it. So, you know, after the smoke clears on this whole thing, what it looks like to me, in my mind, I would look at it, if I had a house, if I could afford a house and I could put $30,000 worth of furniture in it, would I pay the $3,400 extra to get a lifetime warranty on this furniture? To me, it's a no-brainer. I would do that. You know, and I think we're obligated to the ratepayers, not just to take the low bid because it's cheaper, but to take the best quality. And I think that's exactly what we would be doing, and with Dan's discussion and Neil's thinking the same way, that we're gonna get the best bang for the buck by going with Patrick's Office Supply and the Han furniture. We've got a completely, you know, unsaid lifetime warranty on this furniture. And his price was complete setup, storage, to when we get it here, setting it up, you know. So, you know, we have come to the determination that we believe that the bid should be awarded, you know, based on the quality, the lifetime warranty, and the lifetime warranty to me says everything about the quality of it. They wouldn't give that if their furniture wasn't good stuff. So, you know, that's our recommendation to the board, is that we do accept the offer through Patrick's Office Supply in the amount of $32,499.68 to purchase this furniture with. I'm not real smart at math. I did a little math on it, and over a 25-year lifespan on office furniture, which we have some furniture now from the old location that's over 25 years old. It's in great shape still. So we could expect to get that length of time out of it. For that extra amount that we would spend just on this warranty of $3,363.08, over 25 years, that comes out to $134.52 a year, or 36 cents a day to maintain a lifetime warranty on this furniture, you know. So again, that's kind of a no-brainer in my book. So between the three of us, we have thinking that this is what we ought to do with this. So that's where we're at.
Dan, do you or Neil have anything you'd like to add?
Dan and I discussed, and we agree with Rick. I think the warranty makes sense. And peace of mind that we do have a local vendor that'll take care of us if we have a problem. And Dan, anything you want to add? I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah, thank you, Neil, and thank you guys. It was fun working with you on this. Keep in mind, Han also has a number on each piece of furniture. In the event that something should happen to Patrick's Office Supply, they're no longer in business, then we call Han directly, and they would coordinate with us in the replacement on the lifetime guarantee. Patrick's is definitely an added benefit because we don't have to worry about it as long as they're present. But there is a plan B in case of their absence on that. Keep in mind, too, that this is an operations building. It's not a clerical environment necessarily, so it's going to be more aggressive. So we are going to need items that are more durable. They're going to be exposed to things that furniture in an office like this would not be exposed to. So I agree completely.
Great. Mike, anything you want to add?
No, I'm fine with this.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rick.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So what is the will of the board on item number 8?
I make a motion that we accept the quote from Patrick's Office Supply in the amount of $32,499.68 to provide and install furniture in the electric operations building at 1300 West Main Street. Patrick's is asked to provide an agreement for such a board authorizes General Manager Mike Whitman to sign this agreement.
Second.
Great. We have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Patrick's Office Supply, not to exceed $32,499.68, and give Mr. Whitman the authority to sign any contract or bid that is required. Any other questions, comments, discussion? So all those in favor of accepting that?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. And again, thank you guys, Rick, Dean, Neil, for taking the time to do that.
So we're actually then good to go the next few days. I can get with Patrick's. We're kind of getting better in this order. We're moving into the building. A little passion right now, so as soon as we get this done, we'll be better off.
You ready to rock? Thank you. Item number 9, Cara Mita. I believe Mike Whitman's going to take that.
Thank you. On December 21st, 2015, I presented to the board an expenditure of $25,826.54 by Cara Mita for testing and proper removal of debris from the new electric operations building site. This amount was intended to be the total final cost for board approval for this work. However, as you can see by the email exchanges between Cara Mita and myself, this proved to be not the case. Cara Mita received an additional invoice from the approved hauler, of course, for an additional cost. So what I was hoping to be the final cost turned out not to be. So I asked the board to approve an additional $2,642.90 for the disposal of debris collected, taking the total amount to $28,469.44. From the email that you have, email information you have from Cara Mita, you can see that this amount will close out this work. Are there questions?
This is the final.
This is the final, so I have it in writing.
That is your final answer.
It will be their final answer, too.
Mike, did they say, was there extra trips, something unexpected? What?
After I sent them an email saying, give me the final total so I can take this to the board one time, another invoice from the hauler popped up on their doorstep. And they thought they had received all of that cost information, but that was not correct. So I've got to come back to the board again asking for more money.
Question, Mike, it shows on this invoice, an invoice total of $2,732.90.
Yeah, they had not totally spent everything And so they are, when you take a look at the total amount versus what the board approved previously, the difference, let me see if I can. Yeah, there's an item, Caramita Incorporated, that was prepared by our accounts receivable that show the not-to-exceed amount. Do you have that? Let's see. This is, it looks like that.
Okay.
The very last page. Keep going. There you go.
Yeah, there's the amount and the various invoices that we've paid. And then you can see the amount, the 2,600 and so forth, that is open that we're talking about tonight to close out this account.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Any further questions for Mike? Comments on it?
I'll make the motion that we approve the additional payment of $2,642.90 to Caramita for disposal of debris from the electric operations building worksite.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amount of $2,642.90 to Caramita Professional Service, to Caramita to close out the work on debris removal. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that carries. Mr. Whitman, I believe you have a change order for us.
Change order for the new operations building to our contractor, Fredericks. Change order 3 is valued at $39,202. I'd like to read to the board and the audience the specifics for this change order. We've added some exterior lighting to eliminate the building signage above the solar panels. The original specification did not include this lighting. This is an additional $5,016. We're adding the purchase of a utility sink in the garage. This was initially something that our line crew thought that they would do, but we're not in that business, so the contractor has been asked to do this. They will for an additional $279. They're adding some window covering in room 105. The original documents did not specify any window covering. We're talking about shades, blinds, and that kind of stuff. That's an additional $245. We're adding drywall above a block wall in a storeroom, added to create kind of a finished look, as that was just an exposed ceiling. And we didn't feel that that was suitable for what we planned to store in the storeroom, so that's an additional $422. We're adding janitor's closet to create room for janitor supplies to clean the building. That room was not a part of the initial scope. That is an increase of $2,508. We're adding lighting control and switching in the garage area, the storage room, and the meter storage room areas. The original plans called for some different lighting. We need something different than those plans called for. This is an additional $2,355. We've asked, initially we were going to provide the flags, the American flag, the state flag, et cetera. We've now asked Fredericks, because they've got some relationships with flag companies, to purchase this for us. That's an additional $1,815. I'm going to pass on this next item and come back to it in a moment. We're going to add additional power and data in the crew room, data jacks. This is an additional $628. We're going to add an additional blocking, wall blocking for items for us that were not in the initial specification. This is an additional $654. There is an adder for $25,280 I wish to explain. This is an adder for steel that was necessary to support the exterior masonry walls for the building. This should have been included in the initial design by our architect per our agreement with them. We've negotiated regards this oversight, and the architect will reimburse Lebanon Utilities one-half of this amount, $12,640. As they agree, the steel design and the architectural portion should have been included in their initial work per the contract. So the contractor did not bid on this because it wasn't in the scope. Had the steel been in the scope, we would have paid approximately one-half of the total. So the architect is willing to absorb one-half of this expense, and then we'll pay for the portion that we would have paid initially had that been in the scope of work. So when you consider that, we actually will pay Fredericks $39,202 for this change order. However, when you take into account the architect will pay for $12,640 to Lebanon Utilities, this change order is really worth $26,562 to Lebanon Utilities. Now, I guess that's kind of complicated. I hope not too much, but the architect agreed with us that they had an oversight and they're willing to compensate us for half those costs. I felt that was a fair thing. Our construction manager, who also participated in the conversations, also felt that that was a fair situation for both parties. Are there questions?
Yeah, you did a great job on that, and I really appreciate it. But council, when we have a construction manager on site, is it not their responsibility to bring this information to us and explain it? Should they be present in the future when those change orders are requested?
That is part of their responsibility to address some of these things, whether or not we require them or need them to be here. I mean, are you asking, should they be here presenting this, or should they have caught this and addressed it?
I think both, actually, because it really puts Mike on the spot in that we hired them to represent us and then talk or account back to us, and putting Mike on the spot, he might not have the information that's really necessary. And I think in the future, before we approve anything, I'd like to hear from the construction management company that we hired. And I think it's their responsibility to carry that ball to us.
Yeah, and I'm happy to make that request to them in the
Okay.
future.
Okay.
Absolutely, I
Yeah,
think
and
that's fine.
That's not faulting anything that you've
Oh, I
done there,
understand.
Mike. I understand that. I
Sure.
really appreciate that. Because everything seems to be pretty straight ahead, and I appreciate the efforts on the negotiations with the architect, mitigating that cost for us. Yeah, I think it would be nice to see them here to explain those issues.
We can do that.
I'd like to continue on that a little bit, Dan. I'm not a construction guy. I know nothing. I mean, give me a hammer and nails and I'll put holes in the walls everywhere. That's why we hired these guys as construction manager. I'm a little bit concerned about all the things that I'm seeing on here that wasn't in the spec. Wasn't that part of why we hired them? Was to tell us what should be in the spec and what's not? I mean,
Well, and them and the architect as well. So there's some responsibility on the part of our architect here as well. Both parties, I think.
And I'm not talking about just on the steel bracing part. Like, how many buildings do you know that have a sign on top of it that don't have a sign lit? I mean, isn't that what the construction manager should have been advising us and talking to us about? I would love to see those guys here at the next meeting and give us an update and address some of these issues.
That's fine.
Please do that. And I would also like to address, isn't there a percentage-based fee that goes to that construction manager?
Yes.
With every change order, I think you're right.
With every change order, there's potentially additional costs. We need to make sure we take that reimbursement on the steel from the architect into account on that, and have some conversations with our construction manager regarding some of these. So
That's fine.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so on the matter at hand, we have change order number 3 in the amount of 39,202, which is a gross amount. Any discussions, any talks, conversations regarding this?
So are you looking, or do we need to approve these one at a time, or do we need to, can we just lump them all together?
Does that need to be a net amount then, or a gross? Because
So,
there's 12,000 coming back to us.
Well, for this change order, because it's for Fredericks, okay, it's a different pot. Okay,
So that may need to
The
be
other
broken
money's going to be from the architect. But to make Fredericks whole, we need to approve this change order of $39,202 for the total amount, contract amount of $2,832,433. And then
Subject to
deal with the
CP's
architect
contribution.
on their own merits. So we can't mix. the
we can't just lump
architect
them
in.
together then? Yeah, I hear what you're saying, okay. Okay. So this, then if I make a motion to approve Frederick change order number 3 for the electric operations building in the amount of $39,202, allowing general manager Mike Whitman to sign the change order. So that'll get you where
Yes,
you need to be. Okay.
right.
I'd second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept change order number 3 in the amount of 39,202, giving General Manager Whitman the authority to sign it. Any further discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Change orders approved. Item number 11 is back to you, Mike.
I think in other discussions, we decided that we were going to hold on any further action of this item until I've had another conversation with Umbah Associates. So I would ask the board to table this at this time.
I'd make a motion that we table item number 11, KPI agreement, additional compensation, pending more information from General Manager Mike Whitman.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to table item number 11, KPI agreement. Any further questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is tabled. Mike, I would also turn over number 12 to you.
I think what we wanted to do, Bob, on this is we're taking a look at sharing assets, looking at snow removal, sharing assets for that. We're also in the midst of working with a management consultant on vehicular replacements, timing of such. And so what we'd like to do is table this until we get some additional information from that consultant, and then just take a look at the overall process in general on purchasing vehicles, trade-ins, and things of that nature. So I would ask the board to table this for a future board meeting.
I'll make a motion to table item 12, water treatment truck replacement.
Second?
Okay, we got a motion and a second to table item number 12 on the agenda.
Did they give us a deadline on how long these bids would be good for?
I thought I saw 30 days, wasn't it?
I thought I saw 30. But even so,
I'm sorry? Okay, so we have a motion and a second to table item number 12. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is tabled. All right, approval of claims. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the claims?
I'd make a motion, we approve the claims.
Second?
All right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor of paying the bills, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Claims have been approved. I believe, Mike Whitman, you have some GM comments you'd like to make.
Yes, thank you. One, I will be presenting the Lebanon Utilities capital programs and projection of utility rates to the Lebanon City Council on Monday, the 22nd. Item number 2, the electric utility recently earned the gold designation from the American Public Power Association for their RP3 program, Reliable Public Power Provider. There are only a handful of other municipal utilities in the state that earn this award. The RP3 program recognizes electric utilities that demonstrate a high proficiency in electric reliability, safety, workforce development, and system improvement. The gold designation is the third level with platinum and diamond above it. Our gold designation is for 3 years, at which time we'll need to go through the application process again. My thanks to all employees who helped provide written documentation to support our responses to a variety of questions. It was a job well done. Lebanon Utilities will be recognized during the opening breakfast of the 2016 APPA Engineering and Operations Conference in Minneapolis on Monday, April the 4th. And finally, I ask, please remember to be safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. What a great designation, gold. That's wonderful. Thanks to all the guys who make that happen. Anybody else have anything on the board? Any other topics or issues? No? Anybody from the public? Any comments or questions? Yes.
My name's Aaron Smith. I'm a Lebanon resident. In the Lebanon Reporter a few days ago, I noticed that there was a request for proposals from Lebanon Utilities for public relations, website consulting, and events management. And I just want to express the opinion that I don't think this would be a good use of my utility bill payments, that the highest paid employee in the city is the general manager, and I think the general manager should be capable of providing whatever public relations and events management that we need without any additional expense to pay an outside consultant to do this. So I would like to express the opinion there that I would like for you to not follow through on this and hire outside consultant for this purpose. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? No. So Linda, I have the next board meeting to be March the 9th
Yes, sir.
at 5 p.m.
Yes.
And at this point, we don't have any work session scheduled, but if we do, we will certainly communicate that. Anybody have anything else come before the board? I would entertain a motion to go home.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good night. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as Mr. Whitman said, be safe out there. Thank you.
I see